So I just consumed my dinner and I took 4 units of insulin. As you can see, I was higher earlier in the 200s and I got down to like the upper 70s or low 80s to eat dinner, and now my blood sugar is starting to head back up for my dinner, so I currently am 90 and stable, but it probably won't be long before that blood sugar starts to raise. Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 26 of Diabetes Awareness Month, November 26, 2018. I hope you are doing well and you found some good deals for Cyber Monday. I bought something diabetes related, but I hope to do future videos on that later, starting next year. So you guys can look forward to that little surprise. But anyways, today's question's more opinionated, and just wanted to put it out there that this is what I believe in. What somebody else thinks or believes in might be totally different, but I figured I would share my perspective on this, seeing as though I hope to have kids in the future. So today's question is, do you worry about the chance of passing type 1 diabetes onto your children? And the answer to that question is no. And why do you say no? Well, first of all, there is a genetic component to type 1 diabetes. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that if you have a parent or a sibling or a family member that you're going to end up with it. There's other things like environmental factors, like a virus or exposure to certain toxins in your life that also contribute to the destroying of the beta cells by our own immune system. So just because I may or may not have, I don't even know, the genes for type 1 diabetes does not necessarily mean my children will have it. And honestly, that is not a fear of mine. Honestly, when I was diagnosed, I was scared I was going to have cancer. I think, honestly, if a child of mine ended up with type 1 diabetes, it's not really, to me, it's not the end of the world. Now, you guys might think I'm crazy for saying that, but honestly, I would hate to see my child suffer with cancer and rather, I don't want them to have type 1 diabetes, but if they do, they have someone to look at, their mother as a role and guide for that kind of stuff. And genetically speaking, scientifically based, I did do some research on the genes and stuff. It is highly more unlikely for me to have a child with type 1 diabetes because I am a female. Males that have type 1 diabetes have a higher chance of passing the genes for type 1 diabetes onto their children. But for me, personally, I believe my children will have about the same odds that I had. I had about a 1 in 100 chance or a 1% chance of ending up with type 1 diabetes, and I did. And my children would have the same odds, about the same odds. Now, if I have a child before the age of 25, the odds are a little bit higher. I believe it's either 3 or 4%. But after age 25, it goes down to that 1%. But that's not a hard and fast rule. For example, I could have a baby at age 23 and this child does not end up with type 1 diabetes, but I could have a baby at age 28 and have that child end up with type 1 diabetes. So that's not a hard and fast rule. So the odds of my child having type 1 diabetes is about 1%. So honestly, I'm not even concerned about it. I did have a doctor of mine saying, "Oh, you're probably so worried about passing it on to your children." And I'm going, honestly, no. First of all, I believe in God, and if God wants my child to have type 1 diabetes, they obviously possess something that he sees in them that could make an impact on the world, and that's what I see in myself too. There is a reason I have this autoimmune disease, and there's a reason why I have it to do a certain purpose, mine through God. So I am a highly religious person, so please don't give me any hate about this, but this is what I believe in. So I'm not going to let type 1 diabetes stop me from doing anything. Ladies, if you just found out you were diagnosed, don't let this stop you from having children of your own. I want to have 2 or 3 children eventually in the future, obviously as I find a significant other and so on and so forth. So definitely don't let type 1 diabetes stop you from doing anything. Yes, pregnancy can be a little bit more of a challenge with type 1 diabetes just because of the insulin rate changes and such, and having to carry a human being inside you, and you have to keep your blood sugars really, really under control in order to have the best pregnancy, labor, and birth possible. I have been doing a little bit of reading into that, but not too much, seeing as though I'm only 20 years old. I have a couple more years to finish college yet. I don't intend on having any children until after I finish college at the very least, so the very earliest I would have any children would probably be 22 or 23. If at that point I am married and have a significant other at that point that I'd want to have children with. So, like I said, ladies, don't let any doctor tell you that you can't have children because you have type 1 diabetes, because it's absolute bullcrap. It is literally bullcrap. You can do anything you want with type 1 diabetes, include having children. Know that, ladies, that you do. Those of you that have had children and have had type 1 diabetes for a long time, I applaud you. I give you a lot of credit and a lot of strength, because it is hard to go through a pregnancy, but it's even harder to go through a pregnancy as a diabetic, and especially as a type 1 diabetic. So kudos to you, and I hope to have a positive pregnancy experiences as I move forward in my life. So anyways, I hope this answers your today's question for you guys. This is all I have to say. Again, this is my opinion, not a fact. Not everybody will agree with what I say, but that's okay. I'm still going to put it out there. If you didn't like it for whatever reason, I am sorry, but you're only going to get me, and you're only going to get what I truly believe and think, and stuff like that. So let me know if you are willing to share your opinion on this down in the comments down below. Even if you are male or a female, please share, because I know both males and females do think about the idea of, oh, what happened if my children end up with this or that. So I believe this wraps up today's video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If we get to 100 subscribers, I will post my diabetes diagnosis story, so look forward to that. And if you do decide to subscribe, please turn on that little notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you never miss when I upload something new. So until tomorrow's video for day 27 of Diabetes Awareness Month, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. Bye, everybody.